What does it mean to live fully alive?
We get to learn from and with people who are also on that journey.
We begin in 22 seconds.
Live life, see the good days in it, just live. Live life, see the good days, see the good days, follow your potential. And live life, see the good days in it.
Welcome into the Just Live Festival. It's that festival, that time for you to just live.
And live fully alive. Today, our special guest is David Taylor. Many people know him as Mr. Question. There are some amazing things that you're going to learn as a result of learning with and from David.
So turn on your imagination. Open up yourself to inspiration.
Yes.
And lean into this conversation because it has a lot to do with you and momentum. Momentum is part of living
Forward movement.
fully alive.
So we're going to hear some stories. We're going to hear about his habits, about the backstory that allows him to have momentum, and about coaching and the journey that he is on to support people to also live fully alive and have clarity.
Grab your pen and paper.
There's
Get ready.
so many nuggets that are coming.
The interview starts now.
Your life is a remarkable story, an adventure that only you can create.
We exist to motivate and equip you to live fully alive.
So today in this Just Live Festival, we are honored to have our special guest, David Taylor, with us. You are about to get some amazing moments of a fully alive person on design to live that life.
Yeah, my name is Dan.
My name is Susie. Together we are Duzie.
And I am so happy to have David with us.
Yee-hoo!
David and us, we go back a long ways, but probably one of the most influential people in my life right now is David.
Yeah.
David has been my coach. He is always the one saying, you got to read this, you got to listen, you got to watch this.
Have you heard of this? Do you have this resource yet?
And the thing about David is he lives fully alive.
Yeah.
And he shows up. And I love that. And I am just so excited that we are going to be able to interview you today, David. My role is much more of the coach. Susie's role is much more of the interviewer. So I'll pop in there, but I am just excited to see where this is going to go.
So David, we love having you on. Maybe just describe in your own words, who are you and what do you do?
Thank you so much for having me on. This is super exciting. I don't think I've been interviewed before, but my name is David and I'm a coach, a learner, a discoverer. People say I'm curious and inquisitive.
Yes.
That's a bit of who I am, but I'm a learner and a reader and I'm a sports player. And I think I'm getting to the age when I fall asleep in movies now. Maybe it's just that I'm tired.
Wow. Now you said you're inquisitive, but we also have a nickname for you, Mr. Question. Tell us where that came from.
Where did it come from? Where do questions come from? I've always been, I ask questions, and I think I ask questions in a way that drives at the why. The why is this happening? The why is this happening? It helps me go a little bit deeper. And I think it often helps other people go deeper. Although it can get you in trouble sometimes, I've found, in certain situations where you ask why and somebody doesn't want you to ask that question because they hadn't thought about it, and it can,
Yeah. And David, he is, as he said, he's a licensed coach. He's got his ACC and the...
International Coach Federation.
Thank you. I'm trying to get the letters out there and remember what they stand for. Yeah, so he has a coaching practice. He is, as he said, he is a learner. He is always learning. And he's an Enneagram Type 5. Hope you don't mind I'm saying that. But in learning Enneagram together, I more fully appreciate you because knowing the answers and having the depth of insight and resource behind everything you say and everything you do just comes out truly in your fully alive life. And these questions are curiosity provoked, but they're also, like you said, allowing you to jump deeper into people's lives and help them do the same. Yeah. So he is going to bring questions. One of the things
I just want you to know first, though, questions can change your life.
Oh,
David
yeah,
just
watch
recently
out.
asked
Watch
this
out.
girl named Charlotte a question about will you marry me? And it will definitely change his life. But I just
Both
want to
of their
say
lives.
congratulations to you guys.
And she said yes, he's getting married soon. We celebrate that too. But David, oftentimes in our engagement, our online courses that we're a part of in group coaching together, whatever, we ask David a question. He's like, the question I would rather answer comes from here. And
We
he
love
has a
that.
much higher level of questions. And we appreciate that. And we appreciate the way you live and think and the way you like get your information. So we can't wait to just pick your brain a little bit. So for you, David, what does it look like for you to live a fully alive life?
Yeah, well, just so everybody else knows something else about me, I'm a words of affirmation guy, so this is starting to feel like a fully alive moment. I just come on here, Dan and Susie, just toast all my good qualities. This is one of the many reasons I love hanging out with you guys. But and as I was thinking about that question and you sent it out before, I was thinking about a recent time. I was actually in a coaching conversation with somebody. We'd done a bit of work, and they were so clear on what they wanted their life to look like in 10 years' time. They had the really, really clear vision, really clear dream, but they were totally stuck because they were like, I don't know what that looks like now. Basically, there's no map from where I am right now to where I hope to be in 10 years' time, even though it was so clear. And they were like, how do I get there? And I'm sitting there coaching, basically in this chair, but with somebody else on the other end of the screen, thinking, yeah, there's some really good questions. Let's explore that together. Let's see where this is going to take us. And yeah, we went on a journey. And towards the end of that session, it just felt like they could see the next step that was going to take them on the next day, that's going to get them hopefully a little bit closer to where 10 years is coming. And at the end of the session, they said, I can see the way now. And that's just a great moment. Right? That's such a privilege. Like when I finish a session like that and I've seen someone have this aha moment, this I was stuck and now I know where to go. I mean, I had a session, I think this week actually, and someone just said, I said, what was the highlight of today's session? And they said, I have hope now. It's like, whoa, like I was and I didn't give any advice. I was just a guide to help them think through some things. And that's a privilege. That's my fully alive moment.
Oh, yeah. So you do coaching. Can you just give us a nutshell of what coaching is so we understand more fully what you're talking about here?
Yeah, so there are many ways, many things get described as a coach, right? You have a sports coach and all sorts, but coaching as the ICF, or the International Coaching Federation, will talk about it, is about a discovery process. It's asking questions, not advising. It's a guide to a process that helps someone go deeper, that allows new insights combined with action that really equal momentum forward. That's sort of the process of it.
And you just described when you're in that space, being this guide on the journey to discover what's going on, and especially next steps. I know that you do series of coaching experiences with people over a season of time, and you take some of the goals and you help them on that journey discover what those next steps come from. And your fully alive life is when they know where to go, when they have hope, when they're unstuck, when they've got this vision, and not just in their mind. I know you're never enough. It's never enough for you when you're on journey with people and they know what to do. It's when those action steps are happening and consistently.
I mean, I just have to say, David, you have been a great roadmap for me. Never telling me where to go.
Yep.
But I mean, probably the question you've asked me the most is, if you're going to do all that, Dan, what are you going to stop doing?
Great question.
All the time, But it really brings clarity. And I just agree that you being a coach, or for any of you watching, you having a coach brings you to a place of clarity, brings you to a place of life.
Yes, that's great. So you described go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, so many people are uncertain. I mean, the whole world is like this uncertain place, right?
Yep.
And mostly, I think my response, probably your response, most of our response to uncertainty is stop. I'm just gonna get stuck here.
Yeah.
Like when we're not sure what's happening, where we're going, we just stop moving. And so that is so often the first step for a coaching session, going to help move that uncertainty and try and bring a bit of clarity. And along that journey, as you start getting clearer, it's like with fog. And then just for a moment, the wind blows it away and you can see the road forward. And it's just that moment and you start moving and then it gets clearer and clearer and you build the momentum.
Oh, yes. That
Take
is
that
so
one
clear.
down.
You know, you're on the road, the fog is there, and you help these unclear go to clear. You help the uncertain go to certain, at least knowing the next step on the path to go. I love that. You described your coaching fully alive life. When you get those moments to do it, I know you're on fire. You're like, this is me. This is what I was created to be. Paint that picture a little bit wider. What does a great day look like for you? Because I know that's not your entire day. You have these rhythms, habits, things that you do before and after and whatever. Paint a great day picture for us, please.
Yeah, I mean, an ideal day or a great day?
Yes. You pick.
Because I think, I mean, I'd like to wake up refreshed. That'd be a great start to a great day. And then I'm going to have a bit of breakfast and I'm going to read a book for 20, 30 minutes. I'm not a whole book, a bit of a book. If I could read a whole book in 30 minutes, either I picked a kid's book or I'm not reading it properly. But I read for 20 to 30 minutes every day, and then I'm going to dive into doing some writing. Actually, at the moment in my season, I'm doing quite a bit of writing. I mean, I write a blog, but actually I'm trying to write a book and we're seeing how that's going. So that's fun. And I've come into writing, thankfully, because of you guys. I mean, really, you do it at school, but actually through the journaling. And then also on the ship, we were on the Logos Hope together. I started doing, newsletters for every single port. And I was just like, oh, I enjoy this. And so I carried on writing since then. And so writing and reading, they're a really big part of who I am and what I do. I love coaching. And maybe the other part of the thing I love doing is facilitating workshop spaces. That's what I love doing. But who I am, I'm active. I'm not just a learner with the books and everything, although you probably see that.
And podcasts, how many podcasts have you watched, have you listened to so far this year? You probably know.
Oh, I don't know, but I try not to know that number anymore. Less than last year.
And how many books have you read this year? Maybe you know that answer easier.
29.
So far.
Wow.
Yep, and we're just in the end of June right now while we're recording this. Go, David. Anyways,
but I play for a local football team or soccer, depending where in the world you are, and that's quite fun. And I love being active as well. Actually, that's a key habit.
Yeah. Would a great day include any special people? For example, I'm just prompting you here.
Oh, thanks for the tee up. Yeah, Charlotte will probably listen to this. Yeah, no, definitely. As you guys know, I recently got engaged and we're getting married this summer. And I find myself thinking often, like, I can't wait till we have our own space and every day we get to see each other. And I mean, even just yesterday, I sort of drove up to where she's living at the moment and we sat and we were eating some food. We were eating some strawberries. It was amazing. And she was just sharing with me all of the things that happened in her day, like the big, the small, and I was just enjoying that moment. And I think actually as well, I could tell that she really appreciated me just being fully engaged and interested and present. And I look forward to many more moments like that.
Yeah.
Well,
I love that.
Sometimes we get the idea, though, that we only can be fully alive on good days. How about those bad days? How are you able to live fully alive on a bad day? What's that look like for you?
Yeah, and that's really the interesting question, because you talked about habits there, and I think the three ones that are so important for me are sleep, writing, and exercise. And I think they're all really important because when I sleep well, or when I'm writing, or when I'm exercising, it brings me mental clarity. It clears up the mental fog. And so I was like, what is a bad day? Well, is it a bad day where everything goes wrong? And I was like, well, I'm quite maybe blessed or lucky. Like, I haven't had many days where like everything's gone wrong.
Yeah.
But mostly at the moment, a bad day looks like it's just hazy. I've woken up and I'm groggy, and then it's unclear in my mind. And so much of what I do is trying to be like mentally engaged in things, whether I'm reading or writing or producing. And it's like, can you produce when you feel like your brain is only 40% on and the other 60% are like, it's just sort of like broken. And I think in those, and that's sort of a bit of a rubbish day, because you said, I'm planning to do this, and suddenly you're like, I'm not sure I can do that today. What happens now? And what I found is, the earlier I catch it, the better. The longer I wait, the harder it is. And yeah, and it's good to just be kind to yourself, to basically create a bit of space to reset. Me and my brother have a podcast, the Make It Count podcast, and we actually talked about this. We're on 2 separate episodes, chasing the day, and can you make it count when you're tired? And I think tiredness is probably one of the biggest things to the fully alive, but also to the making it count.
Yeah.
Yeah. I sort of missed the name of your podcast. What was it?
Make It Count. If you type that into Spotify, it will come up. The Taylor Bros Make It Count.
Yeah,
So good.
yeah, that's awesome.
We love it.
I hear high level, and I know it's true for your life, of productivity. But the productivity just doesn't flow. You've got your 3 habits, very important habits for this season of your life: your sleep, your writing, your exercise. And the goal is mental clarity, so you can be on, so you can live your fully alive life. And it's not just for yourself. You always overflow with all of this kind of stuff going on. I know you always begin with the end in mind. Stephen Covey, this was one of your recent podcasts. I don't know, are you currently doing Stephen Covey right now in your podcasting?
Well, we do. I think
Or
it's
is
what
it
I mean. There's a
finished?
reason why the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People was one of the most sold books of like the 20th century. You know, it sold loads, and it's because it's a useful resource. So we decided we're going to do a series on that, just one on each habit, but we spread them out. So we haven't done them 7 in a row. We've done one like a month for a little while.
Okay,
Great.
so you've got begin with the end in mind. I also have heard, I don't know if you're still doing it now, but you have an obituary that you've written that kind of guides you and keeps you in that space of clarity. Tell us a little bit about your obituary habit.
Yeah, well, it changed a little bit, but it came about obviously from Stephen Covey. Begin with the end in mind. Well, how do you want to be remembered? Basically, when you're at your own funeral, you won't be listening, but what are people going to say about you? That seems like the important thing. Who's going to show up? And Donald Miller talks about it as well, and there's a few other people. It might have even been Viktor Frankl, who framed it of like, what's the thing the world needs that only you can do?
Yes.
That's an interesting question.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I've heard about this for a number of times, and I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm actually going to do it. I'm going to write down what my obituary is. So I wrote it down, and for a while I was reading it every morning, just to, this is where I want to go. And it was about who do I want to be more than what do I want to accomplish. Because, and who's, you know, it's the character and the relationship sort of things that people talk about, you know, the stories. It's not, and he made this really good business deal one time. Nobody talks about that. And if they did, you'd be a bit sad, I think. And so it's sort of thinking, well, who do I want to be? I want to be a kind, gentle person that is steady, that can lend my strength to other people so that they can live fully alive, so that they can fly. I don't need to be the man on the stage, but I'd love to be the person behind the man on the stage, helping and guiding them.
So good. I can see that.
You're behind us for sure, and we so appreciate it. So I know that you you want to talk back to your former self, I just wonder, what life lesson do you wish you could tell your younger self? So you know so much more now than you knew before. What is a life lesson that, you could tell yourself, and we're going to learn from that?
Yeah, I don't know. I saw that question and I was like, I think younger me did all right for what younger me was aiming for.
So good.
And I sort of sometimes, I heard someone say it one time, look back at your younger self and go, I see what I was going for. Good effort, younger me. And I'm me now because of who I was then. And I don't think I'd burden myself with what I know now.
Oh, I love that answer.
Okay, write that one down too.
So I gave him a question. He gave me the answer he wanted, which is such a David thing, and I appreciate that. Because you've got this is a way better answer to that limited little question.
Well, it also shows that David is moving forward, not backwards.
Yeah,
and I think
right.
sometimes we spend a lot of time saying, "Oh, I wish I would have known that," but you didn't. You knew that because you lived.
You know that now.
And now you're living more.
Yeah. So this is the Just Live Festival. We have a Just Live podcast that's going to be launching shortly. And if Jesus visited you and said to you, my son, just live, what thoughts or emotions would rise in you as you hear Jesus saying that to you?
Emotions. I think when I thought about that, I thought, but how? Or what do you mean? But then I was like, I think for me, it would feel like release or some sort of freedom. Just, it's okay. I live in a country that I feel is always constantly striving to work, and not necessarily to be. And it's living for the things that are maybe not the best way to live fully alive. And I think if just live, well, that's just be present with the people you love. That's just being who I've been designed to be, and give people permission to be in who they've been designed to be.
Yeah, I love that.
David, what question do you wish we would have asked you?
Oh, whoa. I was going to ask you a different question. You said that.
You can.
I was wondering, and because this is unusual, I get to talk about myself so much, but can you tell everyone a time when you think I lived fully alive?
Oh, wow.
And that's putting you on the spot.
I think no.
There's so many. Which shall we choose?
There's many times that I would say that I've seen you live fully alive, but to me it's always a spark. So there are many people in my life that are like this, where you will say, I'm going to do this, and then you do it.
Always. Consistently.
Yeah. So I'm going to get my coaching license, and you did. I'm going to do this, and you did. And so for me, it's not a time, but it is you look to the future and you say, this is where I want to go. This is where I want to be. And you read the books and you process the information and you get coaching and you walk that journey
journal and
you walk through it. You don't take on 100 things, you pinpoint. And in that, I've so many times had you tell me, and I did it with a smile. And I think that's a fully alive time for you.
And we're never surprised because it always happens.
No.
You are, I would have to say, you are the most disciplined person I know in my life. Yeah. I can't think of anybody who is more disciplined than you, but it's for the right reasons. And again, you research it and you know where you're going, and not only where, but you know why and what benefit that will have. And I think the fully alive, when I see you fully alive, is when you are being that, but also when you are, as a coach, like you're describing this, you're on the journey with people, helping them find that for themselves as well. There's a couple of instances for sure when you were coaching me. over a season of time. And, you know, I'm an Enneagram 7, so I'm all over the place. I'm a great starter, not great at finishing, not good at completing, not even good at being consistent. And David continually jumps in there. He remembers the things I said I was going to do, and he checks up on me. Perfect, beautiful, soft, kind-hearted accountability like he's talking about, and his presence of love and care, and he helps you get there. But I remember our series of coaching when he would, over a number of times together, he would always get me to that deeper, deeper, deeper spot. And I'm an emotional person. And so oftentimes David gets me to a spot and I'm crying. I can't say a word. And he's just so kind. I probably make him feel uber uncomfortable. But he's fully alive in that. He got to that really deep spot. Like my wellspring of life, that down under thing, he helped me discover and uncover that thing that really mattered, that thing that was of high value to me that I didn't even know was of high value to me, which has made a difference. And exactly what you're talking about, when you're in that situation and you're helping me find that, or others find that, I know you're helping them have clarity and depth, you're in your sweet spot. Another thing we do, we're in a mastermind together with David, and he loves to have efficient meetings run. And Dan and I were not running the meeting efficiently, and he asked if he could begin running and facilitating that time together. And he's also in his sweet spot there, helping draw out of multiple ones of us what's going on in our life, bringing good questions, but also keeping things moving toward the direction and the goal that we're aiming for. And I think you're also in your sweet spot. You're also fully alive in that space as well. And I get to benefit from both of those things. So thank you.
So my answer, David, is when are you fully alive? Whenever Susie starts talking about you. That's when you're fully alive.
I could go on and on and on. I'm a big fan of you. You know that. I also am super proud of just the progress you have made personally, as Dan was saying, you know, like you just keep growing. And as you grow, you're helping others grow, and you actually gather a group of people. It's like the idea of the fully alive revolution. You are living fully alive. You're on journey to live fully alive. And that is like a spark. That is like lighting up your spheres of influence. And you're allowing other people also to be fully alive in there. You're a community man. Even though you didn't describe yourself as such, because you are doing that, you gather people just for hangout times or for soccer, your young people's group that you're engaged with. Your fully alive light shines bright in those spaces and helps others just get that clarity by example, even if you can't go as deep as you might go in a coaching time.
Yeah. So, David, what I'd say for you...
Is that enough for now?
You are a guy of momentum. You're putting out these newsletters and blogs and podcasts, and you're coaching, and you're recommending books. You got all kinds of stuff going on, and you are a great resource. And I would love for you to be able to tell our listeners, how can they contact you? How can they, get some of the
goodness
the
of
blogs,
David,
because those things are helping me have momentum, and maybe when we talk about just live, sometimes it's just live and you have to start moving forward. I know some of your resources will help. So how do we contact you? How do we connect to that?
Yeah, so if you really want to move from uncertainty to clarity in a coaching conversation with me, and you just want to see if that's the right step, you should get in touch with me at connect@allbetweentheyears.com, and I'm sure that will be in the show notes somewhere. But if you want some more fun conversations with me and my brother, where we talk about living and making it count, you should type in Make It Count to your podcast app and you will find us. And we've 43 episodes strong. Every week it comes out. It's just 25 minutes. We have fun, but we go some deep places as well. And that's a great place to connect with us.
I'd also love to highlight his website. It is all betweentheears.com. And he has amazing blog posts And if you want, you can subscribe to the newsletter and get that in your inbox, in your email. And he also has another email that comes just as a follow-up, a really short little blurb. I'm receiving all of those and benefiting from those, so I'm going to add that if you don't mind. Your blog posts are out of this world. It's just going to prompt you forward in momentum. I think that's a good word for David, is momentum for himself and for others.
Yeah, so David, I want you to end with something you don't normally do as a coach. Give us some advice. We want to just live. We want to momentum.
We want to live
fully alive. What is your advice? And don't ask us a question.
Oh, it's usually got to start with a question, though, hasn't it?
It's okay.
Feel free.
What are you looking for? Ask yourself the question, what are you looking for?
Wow. What are you looking for?
I stole that question.
Take that down.
Short and sweet. That's not an answer, I don't think.
I think it is.
I mean, Jesus asked how many questions?
307.
307 questions, and how many did he answer?
3.
David is so like Jesus. He's asking
What are you looking for?
David, it has been amazing just getting a drop of your fully alive life unpacked for us today. We so appreciate you being on here for the Just Live Festival. So may you live fully alive.
As you love your life, your world, and your God. My name's Dan.
My name is Susie. Together we are Duzie.
Live fully.
And love fully. Thanks so much, David. We so appreciate having you
So good.
on.
David, just live.
Do it. Well, I know you enjoyed our time together with David Taylor and his fully alive journey of support. Remember where you can connect with him? You can send him an email, connect@allbetweentheears.com. He also has the website, allbetweentheears.com. Amazing blogs there you don't want to miss. And together with Matt Taylor, his brother, they have a Make It Count podcast that you can find wherever podcasts are found. That's a way to follow up with him.
It's our hope that you, this summer, will just live. We live in this time where it's busy, 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 but our motivation is not in the busy, but it's in the life.
Yes.
So we encourage you this week, right now, today, just live.
Thanks so much for joining us for this Just Live Festival. More to come every week.
See you there.